English Fluency Class 101.
Hello and welcome back to English Fluency Class 101. I am your host, Mia. As you know, this is the place where we make learning English about more than just rules. It's about using the language to discuss ideas that can truly improve your life. I'm so excited to be back with you for episode 2 of season 1 of our podcast series. Last time, we talked about building a simple morning routine for success. Today, we're building on that idea of creating intentional space in your life. The topic for this episode is decluttering. And of course, joining me again is my fantastic co-host, Lucas.
Thanks, Mia. It's great to be back for episode 2. Decluttering is a perfect follow-up to our last conversation. While a morning routine helps you start your day with intention, decluttering is about creating the physical and mental space to truly live that intentional life. When we hear the word decluttering, we often think about getting rid of old clothes or organizing a messy room. But the concept is so much bigger than that, isn't it? It's about more than just your physical belongings.
It absolutely is, Lucas. I think that's the key to making this topic so powerful. Decluttering is about intentionally removing things that are no longer serving you. And that can be anything from a pile of old books to a full calendar or a messy desktop on your computer. It's about making space for the things that truly matter. So let's start with the basics. What are some of the immediate benefits of decluttering your physical space?
I think the most obvious benefit is a sense of calm and peace. When you walk into a tidy, organized room, it's like a weight has been lifted. The visual chaos of clutter can be incredibly stressful, even if we don't realize it. When you remove that clutter, your mind has a chance to relax. It's a feeling of freedom.
I completely agree. It's a feeling of, I can breathe now. And I think that extends to a mental benefit too. When your physical space is organized, it frees up your mental energy. You're not spending time and brain power trying to remember where you put your keys or thinking about the mess in the corner of the room. That mental energy can then be used for more productive or creative tasks.
That's a great point. It's all connected. The state of our external environment often reflects the state of our internal world. When you take the time to organize your home, you're also organizing your thoughts and priorities. It's like clearing a path for your mind to be more focused and creative.
So now that we've talked about the why, let's get into the how. For our listeners who feel completely overwhelmed by the idea of decluttering, where do they even begin? The sheer number of things we own can feel paralyzing.
I would say the most important rule is to start incredibly small. Don't try to declutter your entire house in one weekend. That's a recipe for burnout. Just like with our morning routine, start with a micro-declutter. Pick one very small area, like a single drawer, a shelf, or even just your wallet. Dedicate just 15 minutes to that one small area and see what happens.
That's a fantastic idea. It makes the task feel so much more manageable. When you succeed at that small task, it gives you a sense of accomplishment and the motivation to tackle the next small area. What do you think is a good method for deciding what to keep and what to get rid of? Because that's a big part of the struggle for many people.
That's the most difficult part, isn't it? The most famous method, of course, is Marie Kondo's question, does this item spark joy? It's a very personal and emotional approach. But for those who might find that too abstract, I have a few other suggestions. One is to ask, have I used this in the last year? If the answer is no, and it's not a sentimental item or a seasonal tool, it might be time to let it go.
That's a very practical rule. And I like another one I've heard. If I were shopping today, would I buy this again? This helps you look at the item with a fresh perspective, rather than feeling guilty about the money you spent on it in the past.
I love that one. It's all about focusing on the present and the future, not the past. What about sentimental items, though? Like old letters, or photos. This can be one of the biggest challenges for people.
Sentimental items are a unique category. My advice is to tackle them last, after you've had some practice with less emotionally charged items like clothes or kitchen tools. And instead of getting rid of them completely, you can create a memory box for your most treasured items. You can also take photos of old things and store them digitally, so you still have the memory without the physical clutter.
That's a great idea. It acknowledges the value of the memory without being weighed down by the object itself. So, what about for our listeners? What's the hardest thing for you to get rid of? Is it clothes, old electronics, or sentimental items? Comment below and let us know.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about physical clutter, but Lucas, you mentioned earlier that decluttering is a much broader concept. What about digital decluttering? I think this is a huge source of stress for many people today.
It really is. Our digital lives can be just as cluttered as our physical ones. Think about the dozens or even hundreds of unread emails in your inbox, the disorganized files on your computer, or the countless apps on your phone that you never use. It can all be very overwhelming.
It feels like a constant battle. So, what are some simple steps people can take to declutter their digital space?
I would suggest starting with your email inbox. A simple but effective method is to unsubscribe from all those newsletters and promotional emails you never read. It takes a few minutes, but it can save you so much time and mental energy in the long run. The next step could be to create a simple folder system to organize the emails you need to keep.
That's such a great idea. It's like closing the floodgates on all that digital noise. And what about our computers?
For the computer, start with your desktop. It's often the most cluttered space. Try to get it to 0 or near 0 by creating a few folders to organize your files. For example, a Documents folder, a Photos folder, and a Current Projects folder. Then commit to a quick 5-minute cleanup at the end of each day to prevent new files from building up.
I love that. It's the same start small principle applied to a new area. And what about social media? That can be a huge source of clutter too.
It absolutely can. Social media can be mentally and emotionally draining if you're constantly seeing content from people or accounts that don't make you feel good. So, a simple digital decluttering step could be to unfollow or mute accounts that no longer bring you joy or inspiration. It's about curating your digital feed just as you would your physical home.
That's a great way to put it. It's about being intentional about what you allow into your mental space. And speaking of mental space, what about mental decluttering? How do you even begin to approach that?
Mental clutter is often a collection of worries, to-do lists, and commitments that are swimming around in our heads. A great way to start is through brain dumping. Just take out a piece of paper and a pen and write down every single thing that is on your mind. Don't worry about organizing it, just get it all out.
That sounds so therapeutic. It's like taking a snapshot of all the mental noise so you can finally see it and deal with it. Then what?
Once it's all on paper, you can begin to organize it. Identify what's truly important and what's not. You can categorize the items into things you need to do, things you need to delegate, and things you can simply let go of. This process brings clarity and helps you focus on what really matters.
And I think a huge part of mental decluttering is also learning to say no. Saying no to new commitments or requests that don't align with your goals is a form of decluttering. You're protecting your time and energy from things that would just become a source of stress later on.
That's such a powerful point, Mia. Learning to say no is one of the best forms of self-care. It prevents new clutter from coming into your life in the first place.
What do you think, everyone? What's one area of your life, physical, digital, or mental, that you feel needs the most decluttering? Let us know in the comments.
Lucas, we've covered so much about the different types of clutter, but I want to talk about the feeling of after. What happens after you've spent a few hours decluttering? What's the emotional and mental reward?
The reward is incredible. It's a feeling of lightness and freedom. It's like you've shed a heavy coat you didn't even realize you were wearing. When you look at a clean space, you feel a sense of accomplishment and calm. This feeling can then motivate you to keep going.
It's so true. It's not just about the tidiness, it's about the feeling it gives you. And that feeling is a powerful motivator for making decluttering an ongoing part of your life, not a one-time event. Because let's be honest, clutter will always find a way to creep back in.
Exactly. Decluttering isn't a destination, it's a practice. It's something you integrate into your routine. Maybe you dedicate 15 minutes every Sunday to a small decluttering task. Or you have a rule that for every new item that comes into your home, one old item has to leave.
That's a great idea. The one in, one out rule is very effective. It's about being intentional with your possessions and your space all the time.
And it's important to remember that decluttering is also a way to reflect on your past and your values. When you go through your belongings, you get to see what you've kept, what you've held on to, and what you're ready to let go of. It can be a very powerful and eye-opening experience.
So, to recap, decluttering is a broad concept that applies to your physical, digital, and mental life. The benefits are a sense of calm, increased focus, and a feeling of freedom. The best way to start is small, by tackling just one drawer or one digital folder. And remember that the goal is not to have a perfect minimalist home, but to create a space that supports your life and your goals.
It's all about making room for the things that truly matter to you, whether that's a new hobby, more time with friends, or simply a sense of peace. So, for our listeners, we encourage you to try one small decluttering task this week and notice how you feel afterwards.
And please come back and share your experience with us. What's one thing you're going to get rid of today? Let us know in the comments below.
Thank you so much for joining us for this second episode of the English Fluency Class 101 podcast series. We have so many more exciting topics planned for you to help you on your English learning journey.
If you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful, please do us a favor. Like this video, share it with a friend who might benefit, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our future episodes.
Your support helps us grow and continue to create content that can help you live a more intentional life and become a more confident English speaker.
Until next time, take care and happy decluttering.
Like, share, and subscribe.